I can't believe after traveling to 6 out of 7 continents, over 30 destinations, I still managed to nearly miss my flight to Mexico for my 35th birthday. And if you're just joining us or you're returning, welcome back. I am GypsyGenz, a travel vlogger turned lifestyle. And this is part 5 of the night that changed my life forever. If I had a pound or a dollar for nearly every time somebody asked me why GypsyGenz, I would be stinking rich by now. So let's answer the question. GypsyGenz because my name is Jenny and I used to hop, skip, and jump all around London. You could find me in West London, you could find me in East London, you could definitely find me in South London. And I only have my parents to blame for that. So it's no surprise that I ended up working for Transport for London much later on in life. The first time I left the country was at age 9 with my dad, and we went for 3 weeks to the Gambia and then Sierra Leone. And to this day, I still ask my mum, how did she allow me to leave the country with just my dad for that period of time? Thankfully, they trusted each other enough to know that I would be just fine. Let me tell you about culture shock though. The culture shock was extremely real and I still remember it to this day. I remember getting off the plane in the Gambia and just smelling a stench that literally brought tears to my eyes. Just couldn't understand, why did it smell this bad? We got to the house and it was late in the evening and I could not understand, why are we using candles? Why do we not just switch the light on? I'm still grateful for the opportunity to be able to experience life on the other side at such a young age. I learned so much from those 3 weeks being in Africa with my dad and I would not change it for the world. It opened my eyes to a whole nother world out there, and I can tell you that I just wanted to keep learning more and more. I went on my first girls trip at the age of 19. All we did was drink to get drunk. That was it. There was no exploring, there was no learning, nothing but partying was going on. As the years went on, I had a desire to learn more about the culture and history, different environments of the world and the countries that we have in it. So my travel challenge, 30 destinations by 30, came about the motivation to want to keep seeing as many places in the world as I could. So you can imagine when this accident happens and I have no choice but to slow down, how much it messed with my mental. I had 2 trips booked, Destination 38 and Destination 39. And I have not been to a new destination since 2021. It's now 2025. Moving to Canada just meant that I wasn't able to get as far as I wanted to, but I was still able to see different parts of North America. Being discharged from ICU and then brought down to the ward, one of the first questions I asked is, am I going to be able to go on this holiday? And the response was, that's all dependent on your progress. That was all I needed to hear. It solely relies on me. We are going. Adjusting to my life after the accident has been something that I cannot put into words. It's been sheer determination, motivation, encouragement from all corners. But my eye was on the prize. Get to Destination 38. I completed my challenge of 30 destinations by 30 in 2019. So when I was 29, I hit Destination 30, which was Mexico, Cancun. In that same year, I decided that I was going to try get to 40 destinations by 30. I got to 10 destinations for that year, including my bucket list dream destination, Australia, both Sydney and Melbourne. At the end of 2019, I was at Destination 35. Achieving 5 destinations between January and December was not going to be hard, except for the fact that we got hit with COVID and the world shut down completely. By this point, I'd only traveled to Jamaica and Trinidad, and I had St. Lucia Carnival booked for July 2020, but we all know how that year went. So I did not end up going on that trip, nor did I end up visiting anywhere new for the rest of that year. I thought that getting through 2020 would mean that travel would never look the same again. Little did I know that 2025 was going to come and shake my world completely. The only thing I was determined to do was hit destination 38. So, as long as the physiotherapist and all the medical professionals said I was going to be good to go, I had nothing else to do but to be good to go. One thing I've always struggled with in this life is time. I'm not late, but I'm never early. And if I'm early, I'm on time. And I learned that if you're on time, you might as well be late. Learning to walk again is something that has taught me patience. I've never had to move this slow in my life. Added to the fact that I was learning to walk, I still had my C collar on, my wrist was still in a splint. I had a lot going on. It wasn't just a matter of learning to walk again. It was learning how to get dressed with my neck braced and my wrist braced also. Doing things like putting trousers on or putting socks on or putting on a top, a dress. Oh, my PSW let me know that my clothes are very tight, and I could not disagree with her at all. Getting my head into some of these clothes that I own was just ridiculous, but I knew that my situation wasn't permanent, so there was no way I was going to buy anything new. I just said we just have to work with each other to try our best to get my head into it. And thank God I had a PSW at night to help me get out of it. I wasn't going to let any of these hindrances stop me though. All it meant was that I just had to slow down. Now, one thing we all know and have learned is that time waits for no man, especially when you're traveling. So with my new physical capacity, it means that I have to have assistance booked to help me get through the airport and onto the plane. Booking accessibility is not hard at all. You can do it at the time of booking your flight. You can also do it after you've booked your flight in your specific booking. My original appointment for my spine update was on the 29th of July, which was the day before I was supposed to fly to. I had to beg the surgeon if there was any way we could bring it more forward. So he offered me the 22nd of July, exactly a week before. I turn up to my appointment. I find out that we're doing x-rays. And I am completely disappointed because when we booked this appointment, it was supposed to be for CT scans. So I asked him what happened to the CT scan. And he's like, oh no, we're going to book it. I'm like, when? Because the plan is not to go on holiday with this C collar. He was like, don't worry, I'll push it forward. Okay, if you say so, sir, because my flight is on the 30th and I'm on a countdown right now. Thankfully, I was able to have a CT scan on the 25th of July, and the results take 2 to 3 days to come through. I turn up on the 29th of July and he is ecstatic with the results of both my CT scan and my x-ray. And he tells me I can take the C collar off. And then he asks me, when am I going on holiday? I'm like, tomorrow. The first thing I went to do was went straight to the hairdressers. My hair needed to be done, especially if I was going to be turning up. I am a soca baby, a carnival baby, a dirty masquerader to my heart. So the only place that I would be traveling to in the summer in the Caribbean is Barbados. Telling my friends and family that I was still going to both Destination 38 and 39, Barbados and Grenada for carnival season caused a complete uproar. Nobody was on my side. Nobody was in favor of me traveling, especially where I still had my walking cane and I had just got permission to get my C collar off. I was trying to explain to everybody that I do not want to go through what I've just gone through. So yes, I know I'm known as GypsyGenz. Yes, I know I'm known as Hotfoot. Yes, I know that in a normal world, I'm not able to sit down for too long. But this world is not normal. This is a new normal, and I have to find a way to adapt to it. At this point in time, I was still nursing my wound. So it meant I had to bring all my supplies with me. My gauze, my Mepaplex, my Vash, Everything that I needed to keep this wound sanitary, it came along with me. So even though I was going to do my favorite thing in this world, which is to play mass, and if you don't know, play mass is short for playing masquerade. This is where we actively participate in a carnival band wearing costumes both jeweled up or traditional mass to dance and parade the streets of wherever you are. Carnival takes place in Rio in Brazil. Carnival takes place in Port of Spain, Trinidad. It is a cultural celebration of storytelling, a tribute to our history and heritage, a true, in my opinion, expression of freedom and resilience. There is nothing, to me, better than playing mass. So being able to do this in a new Caribbean island brought me so much joy. I had to explain to everybody that if it wasn't safe for me to do, I would not be doing it. So it meant I had to email the mass band that I was playing with to ask them what safety measures they would have in place for somebody in my physical condition. And thankfully, they let me know that they would have a complete separate bus following the parade that was closed off and safe for anybody that was dehydrated, their feet was hurting, anybody that wanted to eat, anybody that had a wristband to show they were part of the band was able to sit on this bus. So I let my friends know that I would be taking regular breaks. In Trinidad, we clock over 40,000 steps for the day, from Juve morning right through to the end of the day. There was no way in my physical capacity in the summer that I would be able to do 40,000 steps. I can tell you now that even in my physical capacity now, 40,000 steps is still out of the question. But mass had a play. Although I feel like I wasn't able to get the full experience due to my physical capacity, I made sure that safe was the only way I was going to do this. Through posting the story on Instagram, one of my friends who is a registered nurse let me know that she was also going to be in Barbados for crop over. The best thing about it is that she does photography alongside one of her friends, and they gifted me a photo shoot. As I mentioned, I've been playing maths for a very long time and I've never ever had professional pictures being taken. So to be able to have these taken after everything that has just happened made me feel euphoric. I felt the most beautiful I've felt in a very, very long time. I have scars now all over my body, my left leg to my stomach to the whole of my left arm. I have scars everywhere. And no matter how much I think I want to get away from these scars, once summer hits, I will never be able to get away from the scars on my left arm. So what other way than to embrace it as soon as possible? Between her and her business partner, they were the most patient people, guiding me on how to stand, where to stand, giving me angles that wouldn't show the dressing on the back of my arm. She also gave me a few tips on how I would be able to stay safe on the road wearing my C-collar. The best thing about traveling for me is meeting people. And I felt fortunate enough to meet a physiotherapist on the road in Barbados who was so happy and excited to see me. The first thing she said to me is, "I'm so happy to see that you're still living your life." And that could have brought tears to my eyes. Playing mass to me is a sign of freedom, but I can tell you that I did not feel free at all. I felt like I was a prisoner to my body, especially voluntarily putting on my C-collar, just to make sure that there was no chance of any further injury happening. After an amazing week in Barbados, the next best thing for me to do was to take it to destination 39 as the true dirty masquerader I am and play a wicked jab in Grenada. This is what tipped everybody over the edge, because anybody that knows me knows I love a Juve party, I love to get dirty, and Grenada is the hub of jab jab. I wanted to be oiled down, yes, in my physical condition. Upon landing in Grenada, I learned very quickly that Grenadians have a different type of pace. They have a different type of energy. And I assessed very quickly that Bionic Gens was not going to be able to keep up. When I landed, in the words of Bungie, straight off the jumbo jet, straight to the fet, I went inside, showered, changed, and went back on the road to a boat ride. I would say even after the week in Barbados, this was probably the first time that I felt like me. I felt like I didn't have to worry. I had decided that I was not going to bring my walking cane outside with me. Just due to how energetic Grenadians are, every single thing is a prop to them. So no, I was not going to bring my cane for them to pick up something and not come back with it. The 6th of August is the first time I felt like me. I felt free in my body. I knew that I did not need my sea collar on at that point. I also knew that I didn't need my walking cane. We were taking the car right to every destination, getting in there, dancing a little bit, and getting straight back. So you would think after flying to Barbados and Grenada using assistance, I would not be time blind when it came to going to Mexico for my 35th birthday. I had my timings all wrong. I got to the airport too late, which meant that my assistance was literally zooming through the airport. And by the time it came to boarding, I was the third last on the plane. I'm telling you, you do not know stress until you cannot run, you cannot jog, you cannot walk fast. All you can do is sit and pray to the travel gods that you're not going to miss your first flight. Well, let me tell you about the God that I serve, because I definitely turned all the way up in Mexico. I've been solo traveling for at least 8 of my 10 years of traveling now, and this just felt different. This trip was originally booked with a friend, but we couldn't get our dates or timings right, so we decided to go our separate ways. And let me tell you, I did not know that I needed that type of release until I got there. It was hurricane season in Mexico, so you already know that's hit or miss, whether you're going to get rain or shine. And thankfully, I got both. But on my birthday was complete showers of blessings. I barely travel in hurricane season to anywhere, let alone for my birthday. I did a taco and tequila tour. I had a mimosa breakfast. I went out for a lush dinner later on that night. I celebrated. And despite how the start of Q2 wanted to go this year, I made sure I changed the trajectory. So let me leave you with this. Life is truly what you make it. You could make it as positive, as happy, as joyous, as fun, as laughable, as exciting, as motivating as you want. You can also do the complete opposite by letting situations that happen, because they are going to happen, rule you, control you, and change your mindset and attitude to everything. How I got through this summer is by keeping my eye on the prize. I stayed focused. Tunnel vision wasn't catching me off guard. And if you've made it this far, part 1, 2, 3, 4, and now 5, I just want to say thank you for joining me on talking about the night that changed my life forever. Now we get back to the travel content.